Can we do a little segment real quick, Dad, that I like to call They Say, Professor Says? Can I lay down some of the things I've heard Republicans say in terms of their backing and their evidence and get your response to it?
Sure.
They say that Joe Biden lied about his business dealings with Hunter Biden. They say he said he never involved himself with business dealings, but they are saying that is a lie, and there is evidence of him being on calls and Zoom calls with Hunter Biden involving Hunter Biden's business deals.
There is evidence of Zoom calls that he was on the call, but he did not in any way participate in those calls with respect to Hunter Biden's dealings. Their big charge, and the only one that has any significance, is that he dismissed or advocated the dismissal of this prosecutor in Ukraine, allegedly to stop him from investigating Hunter Biden. The opposite is true. The European Union, other American officials, everyone who looked into that said that prosecutor wasn't prosecuting, he was corrupt, and he needed to be removed. This was established years ago, and yet they're still pursuing that phony line. And they haven't shown that Joe Biden got a single dollar from corrupt dealings. If you really want to look into money, why don't you look into the $2 billion that Ivanka Trump and Ivanka Kushner and Jared Kushner got from the Saudis? $2 billion. That's documented, and nobody really knows exactly why the Saudis gave all this money to Donald Trump's son-in-law and daughter.
Another thing they say, Dad, is that he is referenced with pseudonyms in a bunch of business dealings, and that is a red flag to them. What do you say to that?
Yeah, that's all bogus. This is evidence presented by totally unreliable people in Ukraine with an axe to grind. It's all a nothing burger. It doesn't go anywhere because they haven't connected that to any kind of corruption on the part of Biden. And by the way, these are things that happened 8 years ago. They have nothing to do with what he's doing in his presidency. Every other impeachment has focused on acts while the president was in office, not years and years before.
Very good point. Another thing they say, that there are a bunch of shell companies set up that are funneling money to Biden.
Joe Biden?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, they say that, but they haven't produced a shred of evidence in 4 years to show any corrupt money being funneled to Joe Biden. You can say anything you want. You can say the 2020 election was stolen. You could say, as Donald Trump did, oh, the COVID-19 epidemic is just going to disappear. It's just going to go away. But that doesn't mean there's any truth behind things you make up.
They also say that his houses, his lifestyle proves that he's making a lot of money beyond his normal means. And where is this money coming from for him to buy big vacation homes, beach houses, expensive cars, things like that?
I don't see any reason to connect that with any corrupt dealings. You know, Joe Biden over time has made speeches. He's written books, gotten a lot of money in that regard. You've got to show a connection between that and corrupt money coming into the Bidens, and they've shown no connections. Again, they're just making things up. You can accuse anybody of anything, but you got to have some kind of proof. And in 4 years, they've had no proof. It's not like this investigation is just starting, you know, when Kevin McCarthy made his announcement. Even Republicans, not Democrats, but Republicans have said there isn't any evidence that we've uncovered yet.
Right. All right. I think you did a pretty good job of answering a lot of their big points. You covered Burisma. You talked about the shell companies. You talked about the emails, the business dealings.
And I'm not even a lawyer.
And you're not even a lawyer. And one thing I've noticed the last couple of days, I've been watching a lot of their talking points because I
pity you.
Look, I think it's important to get to the truth here, and we have to know what the Republicans are saying to figure out what the truth is, right? So So I've been watching a lot, and I'm posing a lot of questions to you, just so.
And I think I've been able to
And I think
answer
you've
them.
been able to answer
the
them well.
bottom line, you don't have to believe me. Just look at the many Republicans who've admitted they don't have anything.
I don't think that's a good line. I don't think that's a good line.
I
don't
think
know.
it's a really good
Talk
line.
to the facts of the case. I mean, yes.
But there are no facts.
Well, right. Okay. One thing I've noticed in watching them and a lot of their talking points is they often, when they're making these accusations, they say the Biden family, the Biden family, the Biden family, which I think is a cover for them to muddy the waters because they don't have, like you said, the actual evidence to one-to-one connect Biden to this.
Yeah, you're not
to
impeaching the
Joe
Biden family.
Right, exactly.
You're impeaching Joe Biden. We can
It
all
seems-
admit Hunter Biden is a bad guy. He's had all kinds of problems, but so was Billy Carter. You know, Jimmy Carter's reprobate brother. That didn't make Jimmy Carter any less of a moral person. In fact, if you look at the history of the presidency, presidential relatives have been, had all kinds of problems. But that doesn't mean that the president himself did anything wrong. Jimmy Carter didn't do anything wrong. Billy Carter did.
Yeah, I agree that it seems that his son and his brother have used their name in sketchy ways. There seems to be no doubt about
Hey, let's not forget
that.
about Nixon burgers.
Ah, yes, Nixon
Richard
burgers.
Nixon's brother tried to
Yes.
exploit Richard Nixon's name. Let's not forget about Teddy Roosevelt's daughter was this wild person, and Teddy said, "I can either control my daughter or I can run the country, but I can't do both."